Welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices, and we're going to talk and term this segment as the power of Africa, and we're going to talk about the events for the Pan-African culture. When we left off, actually in the break, we were talking to Caleb, and Caleb was telling us about how the connection between Africa and African Americans is so important, and I'd like for him to expound upon that.
No, so thank you, Chris. So just to touch a little bit, I know that when we closed out that last segment, we were talking a little bit about the misconceptions between, people on the continent and people here. So just a quick note. So one, there's a lot of misconceptions about what happened or about what colonization was. And so colonization was about we no longer have to transport the workers across the Atlantic. You know what I mean? We can leave them in place and exploit that labor here. You know what I mean? And so a lot of that was during the time you had the onset of the industrial age, you had palm oil, which was the machinery that fueled the industrial age. So it was about exploiting workers there. And so they went through their own form of slavery, just like we went through it. So there's a misconception about that. So we have to understand that there was slavery there as well as here. You know what I mean? The other thing that I was saying is that I had a very, very interesting conversation with a few colleagues who were actually from the continent. And there were a couple of them who were in particular who did not understand the extent of systemic racism in the United States. And so when I was trying to explain to them, and there was one colleague who was from South Sudan who did understand, who had been to the United States. He was a Obama scholar and everything else. He had been here a few times. And he was trying to explain, also helping me explain to them what the extent of oppression and racism and stuff. But a lot of them they just simply couldn't grasp it. They didn't understand. They didn't understand the prison industrial complex. They didn't understand Jim Crow. There was a lot of stuff that they just weren't aware of.
Right.
And so it is, again, about having these conversations and building bridges and sharing this kind of information from both sides, which will definitely, us understanding their experience, them understanding our experience, them understanding our current experience, and us understanding their current experiences. And those kind of bridges will bring us together. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for that. I want to get now into the events about the Pan-African Council or the Pan-African event. What's going to happen? The events that are going to be going on there, if you can enumerate those and maybe tell us about those and what people can expect by coming to this event.
Yes, sir. Well, just kind of lay out the itinerary. On May the 2nd, which is Friday, we're going to have what we call a Taste of Africa, and that's going to be out at Teresa's Restaurant, where we're going to really invite people to come in, enjoy the food and the fashion.
Where is that? Can you tell us where?
It's on Eckerd's. I don't know the exact address. I know it's on the flyer there, but you can, of course, you can find it.
7600 Eckerd,
okay.
number 3.
So yeah, we're inviting people to come out to that. Please RSVP. But the idea is that that's going to be a nice opening ceremony opportunity. For
and
us
what
to get
time
to
is
know
that?
It's from 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
And then that Saturday, we're going to kick off with the Pan-African Festival at 10:30. We're going to go through our Pan-African conversation up to 12. Then we're going to go into the full festival, the door return, where we return and enjoy our cultural rich celebration. We have the African drumming and dancing. We have some little jazz. We have poetry.
Okay.
We have the capoeira martial arts team. So we have a lot of entertainment, but it's entertainment because it's educational entertainment. So the idea is that with that, that's a full day. So we invite people to come out. We have shopping. We have African markets, so you can come out there and find your best wares and products that you may be looking for from Africa. So we invite the community to really come out and enjoy that. Sit down, enjoy some beautiful victuals, some food, and then at the same time enjoy some great information.
And he called it victuals.
My great brother.
He called it victuals.
That's in my wheelhouse. Victuals. Here we go.
And then I would say that Sunday we closed out with a film with San Antonio Black International Film Festival. Sister Ada, she has joined forces with us, and she has a film showing Messiah. That's the title of the film, centered around the life of Marcus Messiah Garvey, who was one of the great Pan-Africanists. So we invite people to come out. That's going to be
Where's the location?
It's going to be at the Carver Library at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So a lot of it's taking Saturday and Sunday is taking place at the Carver Library. So again, family, we invite all the family to come out, take on this information. We're going to have food. We're going to feed the body. We're going to feed the mind. And it's going to create an opportunity for us to really grow and nurture each other.
And you have vendors there as well, right?
Yes, we're going to have the African market. So we have a lot of vendors that are planning to be there. So again, this is an opportunity, because one of the things also with the festival, you get an opportunity to support Black-owned businesses and
Sure.
vendors and products that come from, the
Is there a
continent.
cost for any of these events?
The event on Friday, yes, that's $25.
Okay.
But on
And how
Saturday,
can they sign up for that one?
yes, you can go online, Eventbrite, look under Taste of Africa and sign up and register there.
Okay.
On Saturday, the event is free.
Great.
Open to the community. And Sunday event is free, open to the community. So it's no reason, family, that we should not come out because it's not a cost that should prohibit us from.
Please say that again. There's no reason.
There's no reason that we should not come out because there's no cost that's going to prohibit us from coming out.
Right.
We just have to be there.
You just got to be there.
Yeah.
It's got to be there. Well, as we begin to wrap up, I want to give some final remarks and let Caleb start off with us and give his final remark.
All right. So, Doc, if I get to talking too much, go ahead and punch me. You know the routine. So no, it's just we and Brother Andor, we had this conversation all the time. It's just the importance, and we talked about it here. We talked about it on the show. The importance of this, of building these connections, building these bridges. You know what I mean? And so it is, if you think about our economic spending power, our economic wealth in this country, and you think about that and our education. How many graduates? How many engineers we graduate? You know what I mean? How many people we graduate in science, in medicine, and think about building those bridges, and then with the continent, and you think about the resources on the continent, a place where you have 70% of the world's cobalt, which is the most critical material right now. You have rare earth materials. You have 40% of the world's gold. You have 90% of the world's platinum. You have something like almost 95% of the world's phosphate. You can't make fertilizer without phosphate. And so we control a significant portion of the world's natural resources. And you combine those natural resources with our economic prowess and our economic spending capability, or our economic ability to invest. And it's a powerful combination. Mm-hmm. You combine those two, we're automatically a superpower. And so it's just about us building those bridges and coming together and realizing our common history and our common destiny.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They move in lockstep. That's why you have the European Union. And again, you have them showing that they move in lockstep when you have the Trump administration saying anybody white from South Africa who wants to come over, you welcome to it. You know what I mean? They ride together.
So we got to learn to do the same thing.
We got to ride together. You know what I mean? We got to ride together.
I have to say ditto to what Caleb said. And the other thing is, I think we need to learn to start celebrating our kids more in the open. There's a lot of media about what kids in Africa are doing who are just geniuses what they're doing. We need to start making sure we do the same thing. So folks from Africa say, we've got geniuses just like you.
I know we're running late. I'm going to make my comment real quick, but saying it sounds like what you're saying to me, Caleb, is that we've got to learn through the Pan-African piece to be able to come together because there's so much at stake. Mm-hmm. The state of America right now is pushing us towards trying to align ourselves with Africa. Mm-hmm. And if there's anything that's happening, it's probably a lot of us African Americans who are resisting that. Okay. Right. But if we embrace it and we start to do it, then we can see things as what you were talking about.
2.8 billion people. Right. By the year 2050, 2.8 billion people, half the world's population. Okay. You can rule the world.
Brother Andar, I'm going to let you close it out.
First I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here with y'all. And I think this has been a great discussion, great opportunity for us to really start to lay that foundation. The theme this year is building unity in the African world community, starting here in San Antonio. So the idea through our conversation, through us coming together, really is the foundation for building that unity. And as y'all have already shared and expressed, we build a solid foundation here and beyond here, we can become and we must become that superpower that will guide humanity into the future. So I'm hoping that we just do our part here locally, that we can contribute to the growth and upliftment of African people worldwide and the upliftment of humanity.
Thank you so much, Brother Andar. This is Contemporary Black Voices, telling our story our way.